He focuses on Islam exclusively. A better description of the enemy or proxy we face goes by the lesser names Takfiri, Wahhabi and Salafi. They are not the true enemy, they are merely proxies of the US and its client states. This includes Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Emirates, and Qatar. The terrorism we see with these forces is modernist, similar in respects to fascism, which claimed to be a continuation of the past but could have only developed with modernity. Much of what I will say going forward may lead to major disbelief. To dispel such healthy skepticism, I will refer you to videos by former and current government officials. General Wesley Clark, 7 countries in 5 years. 5. Joe Biden is sorry for saying allies helped ISIS. Leaked audio. Sec of State Kerry confirms U.S. used ISIS to remove Syria's Assad. Leaked audio. Sec of State Kerry confirms U.S. used ISIS to remove Syria's Assad. Clinton on Pakistani military when taking a historical view of so-called jihad terrorism. Many of these organizations today are the result of intelligence operations. Why was Osama in Afghanistan in the late 80s? He was on the CIA payroll. Many of these organizations have ties to the Muslim Brotherhood and carry of the work of Qutb, Zawahiri, Haq, Abdulaziz. Al-Qaeda is an intelligence cutout similar to the National Endowment for Democracy. He doesn't take a more holistic view of things. The countries that have been destroyed or destabilized since the end of the Cold War have been countries deemed by the US and its allies. These terrorists are doing the bidding of the West. This coincides with Wesley Clark's 7 countries 5 years. The 7 counties are Iraq, Syria, Libya, Lebanon, Sudan, Somalia, and Iran. The last country to resist is Iran, which has been demonized, and why we see rhetoric towards war with Iran. I will also refer you to key individuals involved directly and indirectly in the development of terrorism: direct Eisenhower, Ronald Reagan, Zbigniew Brzezinski, Joe Biden, John Kerry, Hillary Clinton; indirect, Halford Mackinder. As I mentioned previously, there has been an Islam-fascist nexus as far back as the interwar years, with the Nazis providing refuge to the Muslim Brotherhood and Grand Mufti of Jerusalem. Galen was intimately involved with these groups. They worked together during the Cold War to fight Russia. Some of the fighters were sent to Ukraine to fight Russia. He should be aware that the US and their vassals seek world hegemony. The proxy wars waged against Russia are the most telling. Even after the end of the Cold War, the Americans continue to undermine Russia. Russia, due to its geography, lies in a pivot area that for Russia has been difficult to defend but enables them to power project, which is why socialism managed to spread to most of the Eurasian landmass. Russia being socialist was a convenient cover to disguise the belligerency against Russia itself. That is why they supported jihadis in Chechnya, Bosnia, Syria, Nagorno-Karabakh and Central Asia. He doesn't use interdisciplinary studies for the Mike-Matt complex. The reason why our people and soldiers are dying is because of the delusional but logical desire by our leaders to dominate everything and to exploit everyone. The chaos we see is the inevitable consequences of empire. The immigration is the result of us supporting terrorists in West Asia and North Africa. Some of these people become resentful and commit terrorist attacks funded by the same destroyers. This ultimately creates a vicious reinforcing cycle. Clearly, the refugees of our misguided foreign policies are not the problem, they are a symptom of the problem. On top of the use of these jihadis, they use the military-industrial, congressional, media, academia, think tank complex, Mike-Matt, to justify this madness. List some covert operations: Operation Cyclone funding the Mujahideen, Operation Timber Sycamore funding ISIS in Syria, Rand report overextending and unbalancing Russia funding fascist in Ukraine who euphemistically supported the Mujahideen, freedom fighters in Afghanistan who sent bin Laden to Afghanistan who supported draconian laws like the Patriot Act who called for more military spending who sent our troops to Iraq who euphemistically supported the so-called Free Syrian Army, moderate rebels in Iraq, Syria and Libya who sanctioned Syria preventing Syrians returning home who calls Russia an enemy and induced Russian intervention in Ukraine. There is much I could talk about in this video, but under limited time constraints I will stop here. Insightful journalism, Mint Press News, WikiLeaks, The Gray Zone, New Eastern Outlook. One of the best ways to discern the truth is based of actions, deeds and declassified files.